Hello and a very warm welcome back to the old shop. It's a very grey and drizzly day today, so I've got all the lights going that I can, hoping you'll be able to see and hoping I'll be able to see what I'm doing as well. So I've been quite busy the last few days, and I thought I'd put one more little video out for Christmas, midwinter, Yule, or however you think of this time of year, because otherwise it might drift into 2026. So I wanted to wish you a very, very happy and joyous and healthy and prosperous and everything else that you wish for festive season. And just to show you what's been going on here for the last few days or week or so. Just a few little clips from last weekend, for example, and then what I've been doing for the last day or two in my rather haphazard preparations for the season, which actually I've got quite a lot to do still. I don't know how much of that will get done, but if it does, I'll show you in the next video, which I'm sure will seem a little bit belated for that. But there's certain things I really like to do, like getting out my green bits and pieces and making a shrine, which hasn't happened yet. Haven't even got the Christmas tree in, so I can't show you that. But what I have got here, I will and have done, I will show you, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Hope you'll enjoy just being part of it here with me. Get a cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate, and just sit back and give yourself a few minutes of peaceful relaxation here with me. So I look forward to seeing you again in the new year. If not before, I might pop in before that. But if I don't, or if you're too busy to be watching the old shop during that time, I wish you a very, very happy, peaceful, joyous, healthy Christmas, Yule, midwinter, and look forward to your company next year. And I really hope you'll enjoy it. And you're very welcome here to the kitchen in the old shop. Do you remember a couple of episodes ago I showed you my Advent felt picture that I started, believe it or not, 3 years ago? And I put it away and I had lost, well, I'd lost the book of instructions actually, but I found it again. And I showed you the other, yeah, I think it was a couple of episodes ago. And I said I was going to try and do a bit more before Christmas. So I've done another 3 of the days. I might not get any more done before Christmas. I'm not sure. I've got quite a busy time coming up. But because we also have Old Christmas Day to think about, which will be, well, Christmas Eve will be 6th of January. You never know. I might get a bit more done in between now and then. So I'll show you the ones I've done anyway. So the first day I did another piece. I did the stag here, a smiling stag, and he has the antlers made of chain stitch. Um, it was quite a simple one to do, which was quite a nice, easy way back into it. And then the next day I did a fox. It doesn't look very fox-like. There's something not quite right about it, I think, but it is a fox. At least you can see the white tip of the tail. And I know it probably doesn't show up very well in the video, but that silver stitching on the tail just to give it a little snowy highlight. And then today I've done this goose, which I am really pleased with. I thought I might keep the templates for this goose so I can use it again somewhere else. And again, it's got metallic thread here, which is extremely tricky to work with. I really don't recommend it unless you've got loads of patience, which luckily I have got a fair amount. But the silver, the kind of metallic thread, it splits into these little tiny, tiny strandy bits that fall apart and tangle up. And oh, you don't want to know. But anyway, I did do it. So it's just got a little bit of highlight there. And I think it's actually quite goose-like. I'm quite pleased with that. Unless you think it looks more like a seagull, let me know in the comments. I had a suddenly sort of thought, oh, it's a bit seagull-like. But anyway, it's a goose. So as I say, I shall hope to do a bit more. If I do, I'll let you know. And if I don't do any more before Christmas, I should do a bit more afterwards. So I'm not quite sure what my favourite character is. I think I thought before it was the cello playing squirrel, which is, I think he is rather nice. But I like the bear with the lantern as well, with the kind of rounded tummy. It's really, really nice. And oh, I don't know, the hare with the drum. It's difficult to choose, really. It's a really nice thing to do. If you missed my initial video about it, it's a kit. I didn't make it up. But you get a book and you get each day you put an elastic band over the days you haven't yet looked at. So you just see one every day, and it gives you the templates for something to add to your calendar each day. Oh, the owl's rather nice as well, isn't he? He's one of the earlier ones. Um, you add something every day, and eventually, of course, it builds up into this full picture, which you could perhaps make into a cushion or something like that. I haven't really thought what I'm going to do with it. I think a lot of the fun is actually in the making and seeing it grow. It's that time of year again when I need to come out into the woods to collect kindling. I've come up into Acorn Wood, which is what I call the piece of birch woodland, mostly birch and oak, which is where the acorn bit comes from, right next to the heath. What you can see in the distance there is the heath, and then it goes into this birch wood, and then we come to some oaks as well. And of course there's gorse here. But I've just come up to where the birch trees are because there's so many fallen twigs. I found a lot to add to my basket for kindling. If you look here, you can see it's mostly birch. It's also mostly really damp, but once I get it into the cottage, then it will start to dry out. I should really have collected some before this, but I sort of had enough little chimblings, as my mum would call them, of wood where the wood had been chopped, little bits fall off, and that's what I've been using as kindling. But now that's running really short. And I've got some gorse here. Gorse, once that dries out, will kindle really well. And the colours are so lovely together, aren't they? I love those colours. I think I should kind of take a photograph of that just to use as a inspiration for a colour scheme. Well, I think I should probably have put gloves on because my fingers are starting to hurt with the cold. But I've come to a different part of the wood just to vary it up a little bit and just to finish filling up my basket, which is actually nearly full. And because the wood is wet, it's actually quite heavy, so I don't want to put too much more in there. But I just thought if I come down to this part of the wood, I might perhaps find some different kinds of wood, but actually it's all birches here as well. But as I haven't got much more space to fill, I think I'll just fill that and get back to the old shop and get warm. Yes, I've made an executive decision here to get back. As you can see, the basket couldn't really fit a lot more into it, and it is going to take quite a while for them to dry out. It's going to be, yeah, I think I'll spread them out just in the hearth and see what happens. Basically, luckily I've got a little bit to keep me going till it's ready. But it's the best time now to get stocked up while the ground is still not covered in snow or anything like that. It's just rather cold and clammy, basically. So I'll get back now and yeah, let's get it spread out and get ready to light the fire later on. And I'll just show you where we are. So just at the edge of the wood, and that's the path through, and that just takes us back onto the heath and away across the heath and back down the lane. And this smells really nice. I've just cut this orange in half, and I've got a few more here. I might do a couple more as well. I got these actually cheap oranges that I got from Lidl's because I'm not using them to. They look really nice, but they're not organic. But they'll be fine for what I'm wanting them for, because I'm going to make some dried orange slices, just using the wood burner to dry them on. I used to do this years ago, but I had a ray burn then, and I used to put them in there and they would just dry out on a really low oven. Well, the oven would be on anyway, so it was really easy, and you take them out in the morning and they'd be dry. I think this is going to be a bit more hit and miss on top of the wood burner because obviously it gets warm and it gets cold and it might scorch them, but I'm going to give it a go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut several kind of fairly even slices. Excuse my dirty fingers, I've been cleaning the stove. And then the end bits is left over. I thought I'd make a simmer pot out of those to again put on the wood burner over Christmas time or Yuletide, and that will hopefully smell nice as well. So I'll show you that as well. I'll probably get the other things for that. I'll forage them tomorrow when it's light because it's dark now. I'll just cut a few slices, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to squeeze, got a bit of plastic board here, I'm going to squeeze most of the moisture out of them with this kitchen paper, and then I'm going to put them on this baking rack, which I actually only found recently. One of the many things that was hiding upstairs in the cupboard for some reason, but it's a very useful thing if you've got one of these, which I'm sure most of you have. It's just that I hadn't. I was just improvising with various other things as a cooling rack until recently. So anyway, I'm going to do that. I'll put a few slices out and then I'll show you how far I've got. I've just cut 12 good slices. Are they 12? Yes, 12. I think that'll probably be enough for my purposes, just to string with other things. And I'm going to press as much juice as I can out of them because it just obviously, the more juice you can get out of them first, the more easily they'll dry. I've pressed them down with another piece of kitchen paper, and you can see how much juice has come out of them. They do smell really, really nice. It's a really festive smell, and I'm just going to arrange them now on the baking cooling rack here. Well, it makes a horrible noise, didn't it? And I'll put them over the wood burner, and you can see them just starting their drying journey. I've put a trivet on top of the wood burner here. It's a lovely one, actually. I found it in a charity shop in, I think it was maybe in Cromer. I can't remember now. Anyway, I really like it, particularly having this six-petaled flower, which I think is very magical. But that's not the point today because it's also going to be very useful just to keep the cooling rack off the top of the, directly off the top of the stove. So I think that's quite a good distance for it to be. I won't leave it on overnight because I'm just not that happy about how close it is to that chimney, the flue, because that obviously gets very, very hot. But just during the evening while I'm in here, I think that will be perfect. I'll give them a good start on the drying, and then I can turn them over, and I can put them back on tomorrow. And I don't know how long this will take actually, but we shall find out. Hopefully not too long because it's not too long till I'll want them to be put up for decorations. But for the moment, I'm happy with that. Just show you again the little paper stars. I'm really, really pleased with them. You wouldn't think they came from a sort of cheap discount factory shop. They're really, really nice. And then since the last video, well, actually yesterday, I got a little string of fairy lights from Lidl's from I think at the same time as I got the oranges actually, and I've just strung them across the top of the window. They're star ones, like the ones on the tree. I don't know if you can see that they're stars from here. Not, yeah, you probably can, just about. Anyway, very, very simple, but I don't know, you can't go wrong with fairy lights, can you really? I just realised I hadn't shown you our advent calendar, which has been going for a little while now. So I thought I'd show you this morning. Now, you see I've got a candle here. It's because it's a really quite a dark morning and the little house is quite dark inside. So I thought if I use a candle to show you, that might actually make it quite magical. So of course I should be careful with this candle flame because it's cardboard, which doesn't necessarily mix very well with fire. But what basically these 3D advent calendars, which I really like. This is the second one I've had. This one is a little house, and we've been putting the pieces in, having put the house together before, obviously before starting. And I remember the first one was this owl on the top here. Some of the pieces go inside. There's that lantern that goes on the outside, and I'll just show you inside the house. I don't know whether the candle's actually making more glare. I think you can see better. So there's a table there and there's some slots in there because there's still quite a few more things I think to go in on the different days. All of the slots are numbered and so are the little pieces. So the bedroom here, we've got the beds. Again, I'm sure there's more to come in here as well. The cozy cat on a cushion, and on the plate here, they're all the pieces that are yet to be put into place. So there's still a few. Some of the plate pieces have like 3A, 3B, 3C when there's something to be put together. So it's not necessarily exactly that number or anything that you can see there. But yeah, still quite exciting, still quite a long, still quite a few days before the whole thing is put together. And I've got a feeling there might be a visitor who's going to end up on the roof there. There are certainly some extra slots there, so we shall see. And and round this side we've got, I'll just see if I can show you with the candle, we've got a partridge in a pear tree. And if I turn the whole thing round to the back, you can see there's a secret fox slinking around the back in the snow. But you never see him normally, but we know he's there because I think he was about number 4 or something like that. So he's been prowling around for a while now. I've just remembered that I said yesterday when I was doing the orange slices that I would be making a simmer pot out of these bits that were the ends like this that I didn't use for the slices, and I'd be foraging in the hedgerows for such things as rose hips and so on, and haws and well whatever else I could find really, and add them to spices to make this pot, which you just keep when you keep it warm. The lovely scent comes out and makes it smell really beautifully Christmassy. So I've got the orange, as you can see. I put it in with some water, and luckily I looked in the cupboard and I found quite a few spices. So I'll show you what I've put in, and then I've just remembered I could go and get some bay leaves out of the garden. I could dash to the bay tree. So I had a big cinnamon stick that I've broken in half. These are juniper berries here, and star anise. They're really old, the star anise, but it was a new packet I hadn't opened, so I'm hoping they've kept a bit of their um, fragrance. And also, what else? Oh, cardamom pods. These I just split them a tiny bit, so hopefully the fragrance will come out a little bit more. Oh, I've got to find some cloves as well. I'll just find the cloves and some bay leaves, and we'll come back. Right, I'm back. I found, I'll use the spoon again to show you. I found some cloves in the cupboard, whole cloves, and also I just put one big bay leaf in. I don't want it to smell too savoury, but there's some magical properties to bay. So I thought it would be nice. It's quite a solar herb, so it should make us feel nice and sunny and kind of glowing, which is quite a nice feeling to have. And the reason I put it in a saucepan like this is not only can I put it onto the wood burner when the orange slices aren't on there, but I mean, I don't know whether I'd put it directly on. I might put it on that trivet thing again. I'm not sure whether it'll mark the stove, but also my little stove here, my normal hob. It's only a cheap thing, and it's one of those hobs that after you've switched it off, it stays hot for a long time. So I usually use that to my advantage by switching it off before I finish cooking and things finish cooking. But also, not to waste the heat, I can put the saucepan onto it while it's hot like this. And it just fits the little ring nicely, and then it will release the scent into the kitchen. It won't actually be costing anything because what I don't really want to do is actually use electricity to heat it. The idea would be to do it for, so it's free either on the wood stove or using that residual heat. So, well, the stove's not on at the moment, so I can't tell you how well it's going to work, but it really looks nice, doesn't it? It has a really festive appearance, and I think it's going to, and I can smell it as well. I can definitely smell it now. So once it's warm, it should actually release the fragrances all the more. And if I get a chance, I will put a few rose hips and haws in to give it a bit of colour. So that's it. I thought you might like to see it and maybe have a go as well if you've got some spices. I mean, most spices, whole spices would work, I would think, and a few orange or even lemon slices. And I'll probably put it onto the wood stove later this evening and just enjoy those aromas floating around the room.